realize how important it is to master the concept of the morning huddle. I've heard from practices who have created an organized, systematic huddle and told me this alone transformed their practice. In this video, you'll meet a dental team in Kansas City. 6 months before this video was shot, this team's huddle amounted to a read-through of the day's schedule, as in, we have Mrs. Parker coming in for hygiene at 10. That's just not enough detail. We can figure that much out just by looking at the schedule. A really strong huddle, like the one we're about to show you, reveals things we might not otherwise notice in this schedule, but really need to know. Like, do patients owe us money? Are there more treatment opportunities? Are there family members past due? As you'll see, a tight huddle can add predictability, efficiency, and profit every day.
All right, good morning. All right, we're going to start.
So like a football team has a pregame meeting before taking the field, this team gathers for about 10 minutes to discuss their game plan for the day. Let me introduce you to the players. This is a practice that has 2 doctors that alternate their days at the practice, with Dr. Pete McClellan present on this day. His assistant Kelly will present the restorative side of the day's schedule. Hygienists Maddie and Brittany will present the hygiene side. Karen is the patient care coordinator, and the huddle is run by office manager Alicia. The beauty is they've learned to do this in very little time, in very little space. In fact, they joke that their morning huddle is more of a morning cuddle. And it happens every day at 7:40, giving them time to get organized and be ready for their first patient at 8. Also, like a football team, these guys work from a playbook. Theirs includes the day's schedule up on the monitor and 2 forms, one for Kelly the assistant on the restorative side, and a form for Maddie and Brittany to detail the day's hygiene patients.
All right, we're going to start with Bonnie here.
All right, Bonnie, we have her at 8 o'clock.
Let's begin with the restorative. What you're about to hear is Assistant Kelly going through the doctor's schedule. You'll notice she's used a dry erase marker on a laminated copy of her form, which includes a space for the patient's name and appointment time. She can note whether pre-med was necessary, any overdue family members, what x-rays, is recare scheduled, what's the next treatment that needs scheduled, and any special notes. Whatever is relevant to the appointment, she's filled this out ahead of the huddle, and she's going to move quickly through it. So let's roll it from the top and listen.
All right, Bonnie, we have her at 8 o'clock. We are taking a final impression of her bridge on the upper right, number 4 through 6. No pre-med, no overdue family, and recall is scheduled. Her next appointment will be seat her bridge. 9 o'clock, we have Kate. We're seating number 2, so we'll take a bite wing there. And then 13, MOD. No pre-med, no overdue family, and yes, recall scheduled. Her next appointment will be her cleaning. Then we have Sarah at 9:50. Yes, she is a pre-med, so we're going to take impressions for all those implant crowns, 4, 5, and 6. And then when we seat those, she had some abfraction fillings, so maybe we could do it at her next appointment.
Okay, let's hold it here. This sounds quick, but this is well-rehearsed dialogue understood by the entire staff. Kelly's notes allow the doctor and team members to be aware of scheduling nuances, like here.
Brittany, can you do some infiltration around 15 in the chair, please?
Yeah.
There, Dr. McClellan noted a restorative patient needs attention from hygiene, and Brittany can note that in her schedule. At one point, Dr. McClellan recognizes a patient coming in who he knows personally.
Sarah, you're 8 o'clock. It's a good friend of mine, so I might take a little bit longer to talk to her.
Dr. McClellan took a moment to alert the team that he'll likely be spending a little more time with this patient.
All right, at 8 o'clock I have Doug.
Now let's move on to the hygiene side. Their sheet looks a little different, but it identifies the details of every appointment on this side of the schedule. Remember, you can include whatever details that prevent the hiccups that trip up your practice day. We realized, for instance, in a 2-doctor, multi-location practice, it's possible the doctors may not remember meeting every hygiene patient coming in today. So we have space for each patient asking, "Met doctor." That's how Dr. McClellan will avoid reintroducing himself to a patient he's met in the past. Just a simple way of avoiding an awkward moment that has happened before. On the hygiene form, we also have spaces for overdue family members, recent treatment, any past perio diagnosis, pending treatment, and special notes. So Maddie runs through her patients today.
All right, at 8 o'clock I have Doug. He's med chew, no overdue family, no past perio. Recent treatment was a crown done on number 4. We need to go over the CBCT scan today. Do you want to do that in the consult room?
I can do that in the consult.
Okay. After the exam?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's hold it here. See how Maddie noted the patient needs a CBCT scan reviewed? So she and doctor confirmed exactly where and when. Those details make the day more predictable. After Maddie, Brittany runs through her patients.
At 9, we've got Scott. He has my no overdue family, no past perio.
Notice here she acknowledges that infiltration Dr. McClellan called for earlier.
No recent treatment, and then I'll infiltrate for you on number 15 before he comes over.
In all, this team addressed the 32 patients coming in on this day, and they did it in 6 minutes and 31 seconds. That's all the time it takes with some practice. Finally, let's look at one instant replay, a real MVP moment from this huddle, where Kelly is talking about a patient coming in later that morning.
And then we have Kate at 11:20, no pre-med, no overdue family. Yes, recall is scheduled. We're doing 5DO. And her next appointment is her cleaning.
Did you hear that? That patient's next treatment due is her cleaning. So later, while Maddie is presenting hygiene, patient care coordinator Karen hears,
At noon, I don't have a patient.
so when there's a moment, Karen is going to jump in.
Kate is at 11:30. She's due for a cleaning, so I'm going to offer her that 12 noon.
That'd be really
I
smart.
think that'll work.
That is very smart. She's filling the schedule, adding production, and helping this team win the day. So a quick review. Huddle for 10 minutes every morning before your first patient. Start slowly at first. You'll develop a rhythm and get faster over time. Have an assistant report the doctor's schedule, and each hygienist present theirs, using the day's schedule and forms that cover the details of each appointment. You can download ours below and customize them for your practice. Finally, be engaged. Recognize chances to create predictability, tighten the schedule, or add treatment. With a little time and practice, your team can huddle like champions. It will change the way you practice.